Okay, I'm back. And I figured out how to turn the camera around. And guess what? I forgot how to do it again. I'm gonna have to write this stuff down. Y'all pop back in the room. If I'm just gonna wait a couple of minutes and see if you guys can find me again. Sorry about that, y'all. And actually, I realized that the reason why I have so much difficulty with my live streams is because I live in the woods. But I like to live in the woods. I guess that's one of the not so good things. Yeah. Okay. I see you guys are kind of coming back in the room again. Awesome. Awesome. Y'all got to forgive me. I'm trying. I am trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. Yeah. Hi, Candy. Good to see you. I saw you in a little while ago, too. So I'm glad you came back. Yeah. Okay. Who's been watching the those earth facing um what do you call them things? Coronal holes. Is it let's see, Mr. MBB 333 is one, and Wages World is another that I watch. And Mr. Every time I forget this man's name. But anyway, they're all talking about these earth facing coronal holes. Earthquakes, guys. Again, this is not doom and gloom, but again, paying attention to what's happening around us. There was an earthquake today, I think a 7 7.9, or was it 7.4? One of it was an earthquake today, earthquake a couple of days ago. Um, the weather is really, really, really weird, really weird. And whatever natural things have been happening, say for instance, like a hurricane, hurricanes are worse. Tornadoes will be worse. Flooding will be worse. Everything is worse. And they're talking about it being, um, hang on, let me see if you guys can hear me because it says that nobody's in the room now. So let me see. I wonder if that other stream is still on. How do I check that? I don't know. Now it says that there's no one in the room now. If anyone's in here, can you say something? That's the beauty of living out here in the country. So you there? Can you hear me, Candy? Okay. Now it says there's two people here, but it went from like 9 to 0 to 2 now. So I'm not sure what's happening. Iris exposing. Hi, darling. You're back. Yay! I'm glad you made it. Yeah, I don't know what I did on the other try. I always mess up. Yeah. Okay, so I am back. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. But anyway, let me get back to what I was talk what the hopefully we can talk about this time tonight. Leatrice, hi, darling. You can hear me. Awesome. I'm glad you can. And Becky F, hi. Hey, girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Anyway, again, I was talking about those earth facing coronal holes from our sun. Um, there's a high probability that we're going to be affected some kind of way. Hopefully, it's just mildly, knock things out just a little bit and it'll be okay. But at the rate that these filaments are coming off, this blowing off the sun. If we get a direct hit from that, it may quite possibly take out the grid. And we already know that our grid, the infrastructure, is is in bad shape. And again, I think it's probably part of the plan too. Another way of culling the herd, because if they do, if the power does go down, then there's going to be a lot of people who's not going to make it. You know, those who are or in poor health or dependent on oxygen or any type of medical um, life support, they're going to be in trouble, like real quick. And then, you know, depending on when and if it happens, you know, if it's in the summertime, then that means there's no air conditioning. And, you know, my heart goes out to the folks in New Orleans. Um, it's hot in Louisiana. That's my family. Most of my family is from the Lake Charles area of Louisiana. So it's hot and humid. And in August, September, it ain't nothing to play with. You know, we have, you know, elderly people there, and you know, again, people with medical conditions that are just miserable and not making it um, in that situation. So I'm saying that to this is not a Carrington event that has happened. This is a hurricane that came in and just tore up stuff. But what if there is something like a Carrington event and it takes out the whole grid or large portions of the grid where large communities or cities, whole cities, have no power? Again, this is a reminder not to be scared and, oh, something bad's going to happen. It's about being aware of what's happening around us. This is time for us to be alert, not scared, but alert, paying attention to what's happening. And this is happening all over the world. Um, if you're able to get out of the city, I think this would be a real good time to get out of the city. But if you cannot get out of the city, um, there are things that you can do to, you know, prepare yourself. Like um, I mentioned before, what are you going to do? Say, for instance, when if there is the power grid does go out and immediately there's no power, think about how you're going to live in your house or in your apartment in the city with no electricity. No electricity. And think about your electricity is not connected to your water. However, the pumps that pump the water to your faucet, a lot of those pumps are generated with electricity. So if the power goes down, eventually that tap is going to run dry. No water from the faucet, that means no water to flush the stuff. And that gets bad real quick. I was listening to a news report regarding what's happening in New Orleans. There's no trash service, so the trash is just overfilling everywhere because they can't get through to move the trash. And then some places the plumbing is out or everything is flooded. So there's raw sewage everywhere. Um, no water. So what are these folks doing? What are they doing now? And that's the reason why I'm kind of saying something again as a reminder to my soul family. No fear, but be alert. Again, even if you're in the city, Store some beans and rice and, shelf stable, ready to eat foods. Put them in just keepers, Rubbermaid keeper boxes, and stick them under your bed. Same thing with water, like under my bed right now. Again, I love to drink these drinks, but these are the heavy bottles like this, not the water bottles, but these are these heavy bottle ones. I'm learning about the recyclable ones that you can use for the water bottles. You look for the triangle, and you're looking for two, the number two, three, or five. Those are the ones that you want to recycle for water storage. The other ones break down, and they leach uh, plastics into the water or whatever. But you still have to keep these out of the direct sunlight. That's why I keep these under my bed. But yeah, I feel these after I drink these, I wash them out really well, disinfect them, and then refill them again with well water, and just close them up, disinfect your top too, and just stick them all under the bed, and then you have water ready to drink. Another thing that I've been doing too is putting these in the freezer. And when you put them in the freezer, leave a little bit of room at the top for expansion, because if you fill it all the way to the top, it'll just blow out like that. So leave a little bit of headroom here to give it room to expand a little bit. And for like, again, if you had to bug out real quick, you can grab a few of these out of the freezer and then line them up in your cooler, and it acts as your ice to keep your other food cool. But then you also have water ready to go. Yeah. So think ahead about that. And like the toileting situation, guys, um, again, a very simple solution. And I suggest you guys do it if you're in the city, just in case. Have you a sanitation bucket? Let's call it that. Get you a 5-gallon bucket from the Walmart or wherever, Home Depot, whatever, with a cover, the lid that goes on it. Get you a toilet seat. Get your little cheap toilet seat. That's all you need. And a 5-gallon bucket with that lid. It would be nice if you can go ahead and order yourself some biodegradable poop bags, is what I call them. And what you do is you tear off one of the bags and you put it over your bucket, and put your toilet seat on top of that. Grab a couple of handfuls of sawdust. And if you can't find sawdust where you are, go to the pet store and get those shavings, pine shavings. And in a pinch, you can use dirt, but that's heavy to try and move that stuff. So have you a cube of those pine shavings ready, and a bucket, and things that you need. Just put it in that bucket, and that's your sanitation bucket. Stick it in your closet just in case if you're in the city. Okay. Um, there's a lot of things that we all can do to plan ahead. Again, get non-perishable foods, shelf-stable foods that you can just add water to. Also, a light source. Make sure that you have a couple of flashlights with some batteries there. Long term, though, those batteries are going to go out, so you need to think ahead. Okay, once my batteries go out, then what am I going to do? What I've done is I have like about 10 kerosene lamps, and last season when they were clearing out all the kerosene jugs, I bought like the big giant jugs of kerosene, maybe about 3 or 4 jugs of those, and put that away. And of course, candles too. But you got to be super careful with those. But think ahead of anything that you think you might need. Water, 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 water. Water is critical. You can go, I think, like many, 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 many days without food, but you can only go 3 days without water, and then you're gone. You're gone. Unless you just want to ascend, don't get no water. But I got plenty of water because I don't want to ascend like that. Ascend that way. No, not at all. Also a way to purify water, because once you go through your stockpile of water that you put away, then what? So get a water purifier. I mean, Berkeley, I think I don't know what the name of there's different places you can get it from, but the big Berkeley water purifier, I'd love to have one of those. I don't have one, but I'd like to get one of those. If you can afford to get one of those, it's very valuable for you to have that. Um, and then, of course, I have life straws, and then, learn how to purify water, where to get water from, and how to purify it. Um, Again, pick out books too. Don't depend on the computer and electronics for your information. Again, get hardcover books, paper books that you can hold in your hand and read, of how to's, first aid, how to build a shelter, emergency medicine, um, foraging wild medicinal herbs and uh, food, how to trap, how to fish. Uh, a lot of people say, I don't want to do all that, but yeah, if you have time to be watching all kinds of caca on the TV, learn some things that you can kind of keep with you just in case. Again, guys, and I think I keep thinking about this too, and I'm talking like to my people, my soul family, and y'all know how I go. As far as where we are, is this a particular timeline that we're on, and all of us that are participating in that particular timeline, we get it? Um, are we able to manifest the outcomes that we want wherever we are individually? Bottom line is, there are things that are happening around us, and depending on what it is happening with you wherever you are, we have to act accordingly. Or we all, when we meet together, we all collectively decide what we want the outcome to be. Yeah. And of course, y'all know what the outcome I want. Either this earth reverts to where it's supposed to be, a beautiful, beautiful, peaceful paradise, even if it's a school, but just a wonderful, wonderful place for everyone here. No one is sick, no one dies, everyone is happy, kumbaya, uh, just a beautiful, beautiful place. That's what I'd like to see Earth be right now. And if Earth can't be that way right now, if the collective doesn't want that right now, then Monica is going somewhere else, because I don't want to do this no more. Yeah. Um, but I'm trying to think what else I said on there. Just basically staying aware and and planning. Have some type of plan. Don't just sit there and say, oh, what I'm going to do now. No, think about it right now. Think about it right now. Because again, guys, when this stuff starts moving and shaking and rumbling and crumbling around, a lot of folks are going to be screaming and hollering and losing their minds about what's happening around them. But I think that we are awakening at this time again as the stabilizers. We cannot be afraid. I think that we're the ones that are going to just say, hey, it's okay, guys. It's okay. It's okay. Like, again, the stabilizers. And again, when things really start going really nuts, then all the stuff that we were talking about and we were trying to tell people early on for years sometimes, then all of a sudden they're going to be coming back to us and say we were wrong, and then coming to us for answers. And that's another thing we need to be prepared for too, that when things really get rough, a lot of people are going to flock to us, and how we're going to handle that, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I also wanted to know about how do you guys feel? I was watching Gosha, and they were talking about um, creating intentional communities in rural areas, getting out of the cities where like-minded folks get together on a piece of land and they work together, um, to have a self-sustainable farm or livelihood. And that's something that I'm very, very interested in. And actually, I'm in the process of doing it now. I've had a couple of people here on the farm, as what I call woofers, to come in to see, if they would be a good fit for our little community here. And it didn't work out either of those times. Well, one time it did. One time it did. Um, but he had other plans. He wanted to go someplace else, and he's doing his own thing right now. But the a couple other times that I did it, it did not work out well. So it's critical that you find not only like-minded people, but people that you really connect with and that you can work with, because you're going to be living with these people. Um, so far, so what I've decided to do now, I have my daughter here and my son Joe here, and then I'm having another one of my sons. um, he's decided he's going to come too, so I'm excited about that. He, his wife, and their children will be coming, so I'm getting my little community. I'll have two of my sons here, and my daughter here, and my grandbabies, and then I'll have maybe another couple of more of my relatives to come in, and that should be enough for our little core community. um, I guess it's when it's family, then you can tolerate them a little bit more. But anyway, so that's what I'm trying to do. Is there anybody in the room here that's interested in that sort of like not communal living, to where you have your own house and you take care of your own needs or whatever, but say for instance we have like a community garden, and we all put together to plant the garden, and buy the soil and the amendments, and working the garden, and then harvesting, and then uh, canning all the food and distributing it. I mean, it's a process, but when you have a few people together, it makes the job so much easier. Yeah. So is there anybody else in the room trying to do something like that? Let me just pop in and say hi. Start at the top. Irish Exposing. I'm glad you're here, Iris. Candy, Leatrice, Becky. Yes, that's right, Candy. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's it. That's it. Um, and again, the what do you call them? Um, Not CDC, not even FEMA. Anyway, the folks that's been telling us all Americans need to have a 6 month to a year supply now of food and water. Take note, guys. Again, take note. Iris says, I agree with you. We've been far too dependent on the grid and this system. Time to go back to the old ways. Time to prepare now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, Iris, what I do, I'm already living almost off grid. But even in my almost off grid situation, sometimes I'll shut the lights off again and I'll turn everything off with the exception of the refrigerator and the freezer. That's I'm not going to do that just as an experiment, but force myself to function the entire day pretending like I don't have power. And that includes not turning that water faucet on either. Because if there's no power, you don't turn the water faucet on. So I'll have to haul my water. I do everything like I don't have power. And it's an eye opener. It makes you really think about what you need to do. And I suggest everybody in here, try that. Even if you do it just like about half a day, or try just 3 hours. No power, no phone, no TV, no music, no nothing. How do you function? It's an eye opener, I'm telling you. JR, hi, darling. Let's see. We rockin' B1 worldwide unity. No vaccinations, no matter what. Booah. Yes. 100% agree with that. Oh, and did you guys hear that a whole bunch more of Mr. Fauci's emails have come through, and it is without a doubt he lied to Congress. I'd like to, I got my popcorn for that one. I want to see how that turns out. Yeah. LCMM, hey, hello, hello. Outdoor solar garden lights are inexpensive and reusable. Yes, I like that idea. Thank you for bringing that out, Candy. Actually, I did that. It was one time we had a winter storm, an ice storm, to where the power was out all day, and it was evening time, and we didn't have any lights. And I thought to go and get the kerosene lamps down, or the lanterns, the battery operated lanterns. When I looked out on the porch and I saw the lights flicker on the porch for the little solar lights that I had, so I brought them in and they worked. So that's another thing we could do. Thank you, Candy. Have those solar powered lights as your emergency lights. As long as you have sunlight, then they charge up, and then you have lights inside your house. Awesome. And then the milk jug thing too, just an empty milk jug with a flashlight. It just makes it like a lantern. Start researching of what you can do, guys, inexpensively, to get yourself prepared for that. You don't have to go spend a whole bunch of money on anything like that. Start researching little things that you can do. Yeah. Let's see. Hang on. It jumped big time on me. I want to make sure that I can see everybody. Yeah, left off on the solar lights. Thank you, Candy. And don't forget about your animals. Yes. Uh, Dog food, whatever you need for your pets right now, make sure that you pack for them as well. Thank you, Candy, for reminding us about that. Iris says a fully stocked go bag too, with emergency items in it in case you need to run. Perfect, Iris. I do too. I have my big, I call it my bug out bag. It's a big old bag, and it has a tarp in it. Everything that I need. If I had to go run into the woods, everything in that bag. I have everything in that bag that I'll need to survive. I have food, water filtration, a medical kit, a weapon, tarp, cordage, a little shovel, pick, anything that I think that I'll need um, out there that I can carry. Hello, Larry. It's about time for a video. Yay! Yay! Cynthia, yes, says, I am in New York and the news keeps pushing the vaccines. They are saying the unvaccinated are causing the variants. Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg did a whole shaming thing on the unvaccinated. Yeah. And again, what they're doing, what's happening, Cynthia, is they're pitting us against each other. The V versus the not V, the cornholio poked versus the non poked. Um, Again, it's division. It's not only that, the rich and the poor, the black and the white, the Taliban and the whoever. It's division, keeping things stirred up, keeping things stirred up. Um, they are pushing super, super, super hard for this poke. And again, like the whole shaming thing, and more employers are saying, if you don't take the poke, you can't work here. Um, yeah, it's about to get rough. It's about to get rough for a little while, or the collective consciousness is going to say, no, no more. And if more people, that wave would just come and say, no, we're not doing it, then we can turn the tides without a doubt. Sacagawea, hi, darling. Cynthia says, yes, yet there are doctors who say the poke causes mutations. Yeah. Um, Mr. Fauci would probably know all about that. Since he funded, the gain of function to the Wuhan clinic that he adamantly denies, saying that he absolutely did not do that. And it's information that's coming out that's proving 100% that he did. So I'm betting he knows all about these variants, the same way his hands are all over this cornholio um, epidemic. His handprints were all over the HIV, AZT drug thing, too. Look it up. Look it up. Candy says our Costco only had 12 packages of toilet paper today. They said they don't know when they're getting more, whether it's a supply chain issue or panic buying. Wow. And see, I went to, where did I go today? Did I go to Walmart today? I don't think I went to Walmart. The last time I went to Walmart, uh, everything seemed fully stocked because I've been kind of watching for that. But speaking of toilet paper, I might need to go get a few more little rolls myself because I've been, the last time when this first happened, I stocked up a little bit. So I've been using from that stockpile. So I think what I'll do is go back and get a few more just to replace, what I've used there. Yeah. Um, I've heard about international communities too. Sounds like a dream. Yeah. And it can be really a wonderful thing if you can get into the right community with the right people. But even when you're dealing with human beings, it can be difficult. Um, I've heard of intentional communities where best friends, they love each other dearly, and they had the same dream and passion, and then they got together on the land, and then they might have one little disagreement and things just get kind of turned crazy. Um, but it would be amazing to have an intentional community like that, where everybody, got along, and everybody that was on the farm had their own expertise that they were good at and was able to shine. Um, say for instance, on our little homestead here, my son is a master builder. Um, he can repair just about anything. So he is an integral piece of this community. We need him definitely here. And my daughter is the animal one. She's totally into the animals, the chickens and the dogs and the goat and all of that. So she's really good with the animals, as far as making sure that they're properly cared for and looking out for illnesses, in them. So she has her part. My 9-year-old grandson can't work that boy with X-Lax. He's too tied up with his video games. If it was left up to me, I'd bury that doggone game in the center of the potato patch and have him digging some tomatoes with me. But hey, anyway, um, it's just important to have, say from I would love to have someone, on the farm that had like some medical training, in case someone, on the homestead got ill, needed sutures, or, needed a bone set or something like that, and we couldn't get to the hospital. You got to think about things like that. Well, I do anyway. Um, but anyway, it would be nice to have a community like that, but we're working on it. Definitely working on it. Larry says the hospitals are full of the poked from the reports I'm seeing, and I'm seeing a lot of those reports as well. Again, the information that's being spread is mainstream news. Who pays for the mainstream media? Really? Yeah. Let's see. King Snurgle Gurgle's son, the Viking. Okay. Let's see. I just came from Gosha's last podcast. Trouble is, the NWO expects breakaway, largely rural communities to increase in numbers. They already have insidious plans to prevent these. Yes, I know. I know. But we're going to we're going to continue to manifest, like in my 500-acre uh, paradise here. I'm manifesting this beautiful protective bubble all around this land, and it's protected. Nothing can penetrate this land. Um, that's what I'm pushing for. I'm manifesting this protective bubble around here. But then when I do that, see, I think also, well, that's kind of selfish, Monica. Why you would just want to put a protective bubble around your 500 acres? Why don't you put the protective bubble around everybody? Which is what my heart wants to do. I want all of my soul family to be protected. Yeah. And again, King, whatever they have planned, whatever insidious thing they have planned for us, the worst that they can do to us is kill our meat suits. And again, I think this is the good news that Yeshua, or Jehovah, not Jehovah, Yeshua or Jesus, whatever you want to call him, that anointed one, not the Son of God. Well, I guess he is the Son of God, just the way you're the Son of God and I'm the daughter of God, or we're all children of Source. We're all facets of Source. But he was just showing us the way, that, and letting us know that we are divine, sovereign, free spirit beings. We already have eternal life. We don't have to fear death at all. Because if they kill the meat suit, we're back. And maybe this time we'll remember our power. So you better watch out. Yeah. So Cynthia says, let's see, Larry, we are told it is the unpoked from the news. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Iris says, I'm interested. I live in is that Connecticut though? Yeah. Now there's a lot of land here in Missouri. So if you're really interested, Iris, I couldn't host you here because I'm at the limit. I'm only allowed so many people. It's a land trust, so I'm only allowed a certain amount of people on my particular 10-acre tract. So I'm at that limit now. So I couldn't invite any more, folks on mine. But there are other properties, and not like this, not a land trust, but you could buy your own land. If you can find, someplace close by, like 5 acres. If you're interested, though, anybody who's interested in purchasing land in this area, you better do it quick because it's going fast. More and more people are pouring out of the cities, yeah, and into tiny houses in the middle of the woods. Matter of fact, I was trying to look at another tiny house for my son that's coming here because he's he's going to be relocating here, within the next 3 weeks to a month. So we called to see if we can have one of these cabins custom made for him. He just wanted a little bit more headroom on the top. They are like 6 to 8 weeks in the hole. The gentleman I spoke to today, that he said they have sold 400 of these tiny homes, and there's a backlog of how they're going to get all these homes to these pieces of property. So more and more people are waking up to the fact that, hey, we need to simplify and get out of Dodge. Yeah. So LCMM, I tried to do that with my family, then everybody went and got poked. Yeah. Yeah. And one of my daughter actually got the poke, and I really feel bad about that. I'm trying to get her to do that nanosoma. I think I might just get it and just tell her, come here, let me spray some. Let me spray some on you. But anyway, just got to do what you got to do, darling. I'm sorry that happened to you. You're just going to have to see if you can find other like-minded people that think like you, LCMM, and try and connect with them. Okay, Larry. King says, good idea. From what I know, lockdown survivalism will work for a few months. Running anywhere won't help. Yeah. Create what you can where you are. Yeah, I agree with that, King. If you do have to run someplace, be running to some place that you've already established. Or say, for instance, I have a dear friend that we already have this pact that if she needs to get here with her children, she will always have a place here, and you know who you are. Um, so yeah, either stay where you are, prepare to shelter in place if that's what you think you need to do, but also have also an alternate plan if you do have to run someplace that you can kind of run to if you can. Yeah. And even here, I'm at, say for instance, my friend, this would be her bug out location. But if something happened here, there's a possibility I might have to leave. So I have a couple of actually 3 or 4 different places that we've already established. If my place gets overrun, then I go to you. If their place gets overrun, they come here. We already have that established. So if you guys can kind of do something like that wherever you are, try and set something up. Get those connections. That's another thing they don't want us to do. They don't want us to connect. Stay connected. Cynthia says international community sounds good. I was in a prepper group after 9/11. I was told to seek groups that accept families and older people. Yes. Yes. And see that's my that's where I live, because I'm the older people here. We have a mixture here. And that's why I think our community is going to work for sure. And then my son that's coming, he's also a builder. And I'm so excited because, oh, I didn't tell you guys, Joe, remember I told you guys he's been having such a hard time, getting his business established and all of that. Well, anyway, he got this huge contract, framing houses, and right now he has well over 100 houses at his disposable, at not disposable, but at his disposal, to where he can build a whole subdivision. If he had enough people to work, he could do it. But my other son that's relocating here, he's a framer as well. So now my 2 boys are going to be working. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for them. Yes. Larry says time for solar energy. Absolutely. Matter of fact, Larry, I was looking at some solar panels a couple of days ago, um, of ways to kind of put it on top of the cabin, because I purposefully cut trees when I first got this property. I cut trees all around. I wanted to open it up to where there was a lot of sun in this particular spot, for the garden, and also I was thinking ahead, solar panels for the roof. But yes, that's on the agenda, Larry. Neil, hi, darling. Um, Lovely to see you too, Neil. How are things in the UK? It's UK, right, Neil? How are things over there now? Still locked down? What's new happening there? LCMM. I live in New Jersey right now, so I'm in a bit of a rural area, but it's difficult to do all those things when you live with people who thinks it's stupid, because of course everything is going back to normal. Yeah. Yeah. Stand your ground. LCMM. Um, hopefully, hopefully things will blow over. That would be wonderful. I don't think so. I don't think I don't think this will ever go back to normal. I think this is the new normal, plus more that's to come. But you just do what you need to do, LCMM. Um, we're your soul family. We get it. Come here and unload, girl or guy. I don't know if you're a guy or a girl, but whatever you are, my brother or sister, just it's going to be okay. Cynthia says, let's see, Miss Monica, about Fauci, the news plays it down. Of course they do. And notice the stations. Notice the stations that give him the red carpet. Oh, Dr. Fauci, tell us more of your lies. Um, Fox is the only one that fries him all the time. Oh, and Rand Paul. A lot of people, um, I have never really heard a whole lot about Rand Paul, but a couple of times I've posted things on my Facebook about him ripping Fauci a new one. And people started attacking me, saying that Rand Paul is this, I don't know what they said about him, but he's something bad about Rand Paul. But Rand Paul was one of the first ones that was blowing the whistle, or saying, hey, something's up with this Dr. Fauci and this gain of function and uh, studies and the Wuhan clinic. And there's some lying going on in here. And they tried to shut him down. And did y'all see the time when Fauci Rand Paul had him on the ropes, and Fauci got really frazzled, and he says, "You don't know what you're talking about." Uh-oh, he's on the ropes now. I can't wait to see how this pans out. How this pans out. And yes, the media does talk it down because, again, the media is owned by the cabal and the kabad. King says, you're in the UK too. Okay, awesome. We don't have a lot of open spaces, forests or wild land to run to. Over here, it will be all about surviving where you are. Anybody needs at least 2 weeks of basic food and water. Candles, absolutely. Yeah, I didn't realize it was like that, King. But you're right. You're gonna have to shelter down. Do do what we can, guys. That's all we can do is do what we can. Do not live in fear. Do not live in fear. Again, because the cabal and the kabad love that. We can't get, we can't feed them. Love is their kryptonite. Remember that. They hate, they hate that we love each other and we have empathy for each other and we're not going to fight each other. That's what they want us to do. We have to starve the bastards. Yeah. And there's not much left starving to do because I think we've already won. I think we've already won. They're just in their death throes. And we'll see. We shall see. Queen Mercy, you have 50 pounds of candle wax? Girl, you're going to light up the whole city with your candle wax. Yeah. But that, I mean, that could come in handy. Having that candle wax, you get like twigs and dryer lint and things like that. And take twigs and you wrap the dryer lint and just make little balls and stuff like that and drizzle the candle wax over it, and you make your own little fire starters. So yeah, that's something else you could use, Queen Mercy. See, maybe we could trade, Queen Mercy. I can trade you some of my okra and marinara sauce and my jams and jelly, and I'm also doing honey too next year. I'm getting my boxes this year, but next year I'm going to be doing honey. That's another thing we're going to be doing, guys. We're going to be bartering. Learn how to barter with each other, because what if there's no more money? Yeah. I saw something on Facebook. It says, okay, you have $10,000 and 30 minutes to spend all of this money. Where are you going to go and what are you going to buy? And a lot of people were putting, I'm going to go to Best Buy and get all the electronics. And I'm like, why would you do that? The first thing that popped into Monica's mind, I'm going to the Home Depot and I'm going to get me anything that I need that I could purchase that would make my homestead more self-sustaining. That's important to me. I'm thinking $10,000. I'm thinking, oh my God, I could get beautiful black compost to add to my soil, get some more garden soil, gravel, lumber, to build raised beds, fencing. That's where my mind goes. Now, I don't want a Gucci bag. I want a truckload of gravel. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Queen Mercy's laughing. She says, I intended to sell candles, but I don't like the quality. Yes, I make my own wicks at times. Yeah. Awesome. Well, hold on to that, Miss Queen, because if the lights go out, you might have to be making some candles and selling them for some marinara sauce, girl. King says, candles will trade well. Stick to what you can do because you know how to. Essential items will be the new currency. Yes, yes. I mean, people will be they'll come here with a stack of money this thick. Look, I got $50,000. Um, can I buy a loaf of bread? And I'm like, I can't do anything with your $50,000, and I have enough fire starters already because I made a deal with Miss Queen Mary, and she gave she gave me some of her candle wax. So I can't do nothing. Well, maybe I can take some of that money and I can put some candle wax on it. Yeah. Oh, you make homemade soaps and body wash shampoo. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I didn't do like the body washes and shampoo, but I make my own laundry detergent. Um, I still do that now. And I used to have a company that I made my own soaps and massage oils and stuff like that. It was called Rainforest Soap for skin you love to touch. Yeah. Actually, I might want to start making soap again. Yeah. But then it might cross contaminate and I'll have some soapy marinara sauce. I'll let you do the soap, Queen Mercy. Let's see. Joe Mansfield, hey. Um, Queen Mercy wants to build an earthen oven. I've been making my hot compost this year. Awesome, awesome, awesome. You getting it, girl? You getting it? Yeah, I want to do an earthen oven too. Actually, I'm going to do an outdoor kitchen. Um, and my son has this idea to where he's going to enclose it and he's going to have like doors to where we can open it up, like suicide doors like that, and then put it down, in the daytime. Anyway, it's going to be cool. Michelle Granger, hey darling, you have candles, water, canned food, not so great that you can survive on. Can't leave Dallas, Texas to go back to Southeast Texas. No way. Too much water there. Yep. I have to take my chances here. Peace. Yes. Just hunker. Do what you can. Do what you can, and just again, just make mental notes about, okay, what if? I'm not saying dwell on it every day. Oh Lord, what am I going to do? No, just a simple thing. Turn off all the lights. How am I going to make it? And do what you can. And that's all you can do. Joe Mansfield, watch Earth Ships on YouTube. Earth Ships. Yes. I have a couple of friends who are actually building Earth Ships right now. Make stuff from garbage. Yeah, she uses sandbags, tires, old bottles. Yeah, and it's quite interesting. It's some of them are really beautiful. The way they put the glass bottles in with the cement, and it's just gorgeous. I'd like to incorporate something like that in one little spot, on the property here. Recycling at its best. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love some mason jars. It's hard to come by in the village here. Majority of people here can. Queen Mary, girl, synchronicity. Just today, girl. Um, I do a lot of canning, you know that. So I put my little to my friends on Facebook. I said, calling all jars, calling all jars. Uh, of anyone that had my jars that I gifted you something and I want my jars back because that's the stipulation. If you bring my jars back, then you get a refill. Um, and then anyway, I someone gave me, I know, 100 jars today. 100 jars today. Now they have to be cleaned, but I'm excited. It was like I was like, ah, 100 jars, probably more than that. So Queen Mercy. So do that. Put your feelers out and ask if anybody wants to get rid of their jars. Somebody might say yes, Queen Mercy. You make your laundry detergent yourself. Awesome. What's the name of your company? Hold on, it jumped. My company is called Mystic Tone. I'm on Instagram. Check her out, guys. Mystic Tone on Instagram. Check her out, and I'll check you out too and see what your product line is, Queen Mercy. Thank you for letting us know that. LCMM. The first thing I thought about was a food dehydrator and soil. Yes, 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 yes. There's this beautiful. It's not beautiful. It is beautiful to me. It's a golden harvest freeze dryer. That's what I want. I have dehydrators. I have several dehydrators, but I want a freeze dryer for food, and then that you can make those soups that are shelf stable for like 25 years. Yeah, I would like to get one of those. Michelle says, I would love to survive this event and move north and buy land and plant vegetables and fruit. Yes, you will. You will, Michelle. You manifest the world that you want, girl. Manifest. And that's what I'm doing here. Um, Again, every morning I wake up, the first thing that I do is I'm so grateful. Number one, here I am. I'm here again. Okay. Another day. Another day. I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for my blanket that I'm all snuggled up with right now. I'm grateful when I hear the Big Daddy, the rooster, crow in the morning. Just be in gratitude all the time. Um, King says, I'm a master carpenter by trade, but did more modern jobs for years. I've collected masses of hand tools, gardening tools. Everyone's got to use electric and battery tools. Yes, that's smart, King. It's nice to have all those newfangled electronic tools, but again, when you can't charge that drill or that impact, you know, sawzall and all that other stuff that my son has, you better have some of those old tools and know how to use them. Good thinking, King. Woohoo! 100 jars. Yes, ma'am. I scored big time. Danny Lee Armour. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, guys, I've been here over an hour, so I'm going to go ahead and get off. Again, just be aware of what's going on. Don't get blindsided and don't be scared to death and, it's happening. We already know. Be aware. Hopefully it won't happen, but kind of be in that mode to where something may pop off. And if something pops off, don't be blindsided by it. Okay? We are the stabilizers. We are here for a reason. Okay. Keep your vibrations high. And I will talk to you guys later. What time is it? Is it late? It is kind of late, but I'm hungry. I'm going to go and open one of these jars of my stewed okra, and I'm going to eat it straight out the jar. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Good night, y'all.